It's the year 1937. Amelia Earhart, the first female pilot in history to fly across the Atlantic Ocean, attempted a world-breaking record to fly around the world. But then, she disappeared. With the last known transmission, "We must be on you, but we cannot see you. Fuel is running low." However, they were never heard from again. Their fate still remains a mystery. Welcome to Mystery Mind, a show where we discuss the mysterious, the occult, and the supernatural. On today's episode, we talk about the mysterious disappearance of Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart was an aviation pioneer and a symbol of women's empowerment. Her daring flights and determination broke barriers in aviation, inspired generations of pilots, and cemented her as one of the most iconic figures of the 20th century. Earhart was born in Atchison, Kansas in 1897. She grew up with a love of adventure and a fascination with flying. In 1921, she had her first flying lesson and knew she had found her passion. Earhart became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic in 1932, just 5 years after Charles Lindbergh's historic flight. She achieved this in her bright red Lockheed Vega 58, flying from Grace, Newfoundland to Londonderry in Northern Ireland. In 1937, Earhart set out to fly around the world with her navigator Fred Nolan. The day of Amelia Earhart's disappearance was July 2nd, 1937. She and her navigator were on the way from Lae, Papua New Guinea, to Howland Island, a small, remote island in the Pacific Ocean. The journey was part of their attempt to fly around the world, and they had already covered a distance of over 20,000 miles before they disappeared. At around 10 a.m. local time, Earhart and Nolan took off from Lae in their Lockheed Electra plane. The plan was to fly to Howland Island, refuel there, and then continue to Honolulu, Hawaii. The flight was expected to take around 18 hours in total. At first, everything seemed to be going well. Earhart made regular radio transmissions to her support team on the ground, providing updates on their progress and asking for weather reports. However, as they approached Howland Island, things started to go wrong. One of the major challenges of the flight was that Howland Island was a tiny speck of land in the vast Pacific Ocean, and it was extremely difficult to find. Earhart and Nolan were relying on radio signals and celestial navigation to guide them to the island, but both methods were complicated by clouds and other factors. Despite their best efforts, Earhart and Nolan were unable to find Howland Island. They made several radio transmissions indicating that they were low on fuel and running out of options. At one point, Earhart reportedly said, "We must be on you, but we cannot see you. Fuel is running low." The last known transmission from Earhart and Nolan came at 8:45 a.m. when they reported that they were running low on fuel and were going to try to make a landing. However, they were never heard from again. Despite an extensive search effort by the US Navy and other organizations, no trace of Earhart, Nolan, or their plane was ever found. To this day, the circumstances of Amelia Earhart's disappearance remain a mystery, and it's not clear what exactly happened to her and her navigator on that fateful day in 1937. There have been numerous theories over the years about the disappearance of Amelia Earhart and Fred Nolan during their attempting to fly around the world in 1937. Here are 5 of the most popular ones. Theory number 1. Crashed into the ocean. One of the most widely accepted theories is that Earhart's plane ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific Ocean. This theory is supported by radio signals that were picked up by a US Navy ship at the time, which suggested that Earhart was in the vicinity of the ocean running low fuel. Theory number 2. Landed on Nikomaroro Island. Another theory is that Earhart and Nolan landed on Nikomaroro Island, which was known as Gardner Island at the time. In 1940, human remains were discovered on the island that were believed to be Earhart's, but they were later found to belong to a man. In recent years, however, new evidence has emerged that suggests that the remains have been misidentified and that Earhart and Nguyen may have survived on the island for some time. Especially some parts of an object, what is believed to be Amelia's plane, have been found on the beach, as well as human bones which have been allegedly female. Theory number 3, captured by the Japanese. Some people believe that Earhart and Nguyen were captured by the Japanese and held as prisoners of war. This theory is based on alleged eyewitness accounts of an American woman and a man being held in Japanese custody in the years following their disappearance. Theory number 4, a secret spy mission. There are some who believe that Earhart was actually on a secret spy mission for the US government and that her disappearance was part of a cover-up. This theory is based on the fact that Earhart was known to be friendly with high-ranking US government officials and that she may have been involved in intelligence gathering activities. Theory number 5, faked disappearance. A more recent theory is that Earhart's disappearance was actually faked and that she went on to live a secret life under a new identity. This theory is based on some unverified claims that Earhart was seen alive and well in the years following her disappearance and that she may have faked her own death in order to start a new life. In my opinion, the second theory is the most compelling one, that she landed near Nikamururu Island and survived months after the crash. But how does it come no one found her? Regarding this topic, the case is still unsolved.